Everybody, welcome to let's see, today's Tuesday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show where we talk about sports with comedy. You guys know how we get down. This is a show where not only we talk about sports, we bring comedians up to talk about it. And first up, I'm gonna bring in my man Fig. Fig, how you doing, brother? How's everything?
Hey man, I'm there. You know what I mean? Back in the building.
All right, can you text Talent? For some reason, I don't know why he's not getting my text messages. I don't know what's going on. But
trying to send him this stuff right now.
All right. Next up, I want to bring in the business bully. How you doing, sir? How's everything, bro?
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely no complaints, man. Happy to be here. What's happening?
I'm doing all right. All right. Next up is the other comedian I know. His name is Mike Sean. Mike, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
What's good, fellas? I don't know why I'm in a good mood, but happy Tuesday.
Yes,
happy Tuesday.
I'm glad that it's Tuesday. I like it. You know, I'm in a great mood myself. Talent should be joining us any second. So let's get the show started like how we always get down. If you're not familiar with the show, I always start out with what we call a COVID report, because the COVID report tells people, hey, it gives them like an idea of what's going on in the world that we live in, and how it affects the world of sports. And the first thing up, man, is that the Vikings QB named Kellen Mond, he tested positive. 2 players from the Washington football team tested positive. They got added to the COVID-19 list. Garrett Cole from the New York Yankees, he's supposed to pitch tonight. He tested positive. Now, I mentioned all this positive stuff because I said yesterday, if you guys remember, I'm going to start with you, Fig. Fig, you weren't here on the show yesterday, but yesterday I said that the NFL is going to start releasing names and a fine of NFL players who are going to test positive who don't get the vaccine. Found out this morning that the fine is $14,650 if you test positive and you're unvaccinated. That's how much money the NFL is going to fine you. Now, if you're vaccinated and you get it, that's one thing. But if you're not vaccinated and the team finds out you aren't vaccinated, they're going to fine you $14,650. Fig, talk to me.
Yeah, first off, I don't even know how they do that. In a hospital, there's this thing called the HIPAA law, which means that your medical records is your own personal business. So how could the NFL even have access to it, and who's giving them access to it if not you? It's none of their business.
Right.
It just really isn't. You know, what you do medically is your business. It's between you, your doctor, the hospital, and whatever. And as a matter of fact, if anybody in a hospital does something like that, they could be fired and sued for giving out medical information on somebody's personal information. It's ridiculous. You can't do that. And I don't know what the NFL is doing, but they're going to open themselves up to some major lawsuits. And guess what? They're going to lose.
And that's exactly what the point I was going to bring up, Fig, was that they open up the door for lawsuits. Because if you literally fine a player $14,000 and some change to the business bully, I think you're opening up yourself to a can of literally of lawsuits. That's what I think. What you think?
First of all, I'm afraid at this moment no one's talking about the alien invasion, because that person posing as Fig is obviously a pod person, because he's coming in here acting as if he makes sense now. I am afraid. This is the beginning of the apocalypse. I need you to pay attention to the context clues. He is concise. He is making sense. But seriously, these folks are about to have the biggest class action lawsuit ever in the history of professional sports, because all of these players who are going to get fined behind this are going to put their money together and find themselves a Cochran-esque like lawyer, and they're going to take these owners for every single penny they got on that plantation. And I can't wait to see it, because this is a travesty.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. To Mike Sean, talk to me. Tell me what you think.
All right, 2 things real quick. Number one, I want to clear something up. I said something yesterday that Carson Wentz wasn't getting the surgery. Obviously, I was wrong. He did get surgery on his foot. Back to this, and I want to be clear on this. I saw somebody on CNN on why the HIPAA law does not equate to this particular subject and why the NFL is doing this. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but what they said, the HIPAA law does not apply to this situation. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. My intellect doesn't go that high. My IQ isn't that great. I'm just saying what you guys were saying. I said the same exact thing. When I was in rehab, they tried to press me for my information, the radio station I was working for. And I went back to the HIPAA law. and I thought that would reign the same right here. But for some reason, and I should have wrote down and did more research, wrote down the lady's name who said the HIPAA law does not apply in this situation. And I'm not surprised because the NFL is leaps and bounds beyond knowing how to cover their ass.
Right,
so
right.
I agree with you guys, but what I saw was different. What I saw.
All right, well, let me just say this. Oh, let me bring in Talent first of all. Talent, how you doing, brother? How's everything, man?
Y'all got to do your research. Y'all got it all mixed up with the HIPAA law. First of all, the HIPAA law is not going to cover everything. You got to get what I get, full coverage. Rhinoceros law, the rhinoceros law. That's the one, not the HIPAA.
Not the HIPAA. I knew it was an issue.
I hate you. I hate you on every level.
I thought it was an issue. The thing is this on this Talent to get you caught up, man. The thing is this is that the HIPAA law, like what Mike was saying, is that they're saying that it doesn't apply. I read in the Wall Street Journal this morning something that a rebuttal to actually what Mike Sean saw. That is basically going to be something that's going to be brought to court. You know, even though that lady said what he saw, I heard about it and everything else. Bro, I think that's the reason why we have court systems and everything else, because they might say it might not apply and everything else. But Talent, talk to me. Do you think that a lawyer or lawyers will be able to bring a lawsuit to the NFL for being able to find NFL players who catch COVID and get fined?
No, I don't, because remember I said this last week. I said last week that slowly but surely they were going to come down the pipeline, federal, state, corporations, and businesses to mandate the vaccine, and you got to get vaccinated, all that stuff. Now, this is one of those things. This is one of those good old boy systems that when they put the bylaws in there and say this is what you must do, like anything else they got in there, they're going to be able to find you. The lawyers are not going to be able to do anything with this right now. This is meant to be, you know, and the court system is in on it. It's coming from the federal down to every corporate and every company. This week in New York City, you can't work or go out and eat or drink in a restaurant without being vaccinated starting this week.
Wow.
And I hope everybody on here doesn't think it's not going to affect us. Comedy clubs are going to start making sure comedians are vaccinated. It's just the natural domino effect. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, next thing up, man, I want to talk about something I saw. I saw this thing, and I'm going to throw it to you, Fig, first. I'm going to start by letting everybody out there know my next story up is going to be called, it's about the Syracuse head coach. His name is Quentin Hillsman. He resigned because amid abuse, so-called physical, not necessarily more so physical, but more so mental abuse. And he's under investigation. He's a women's basketball coach. He's been the women's basketball coach for 15 years. What's been pressing is that a lot of the players are citing mental health issues. They are concerned with the way he's been attacking them, not necessarily physically, verbally and everything else, but he's under pressure because there's big mental health things now, and he ended up resigning for this. Now, we talked about mental health being an issue and everything else, but now we're starting to see repercussions of athletes saying it's really bothering me, whereas now you have a head coach of Syracuse basketball. He's resigning because you know what? They're hurting his feelings. They're hurting their feelings. So let's just call it what it is. What you think, Fig? What's your thought?
That's what a coach is supposed to do. He's supposed to ride you. He's supposed to hurt your feelings. He's supposed to push you till the end. He is supposed to push you as far as you can humanly go, mentally and physically, to put you in tip-top condition in order to be able to succeed and achieve and to be able to be better than every other team that you're going to face so that you can win. That's what coaches do. It's like having a personal trainer in the gym. They drive your ass further than you have ever been driven before. And then when you come out and you say, oh shit, I got 6 packs abs. I got pecs. I got biceps. I got triceps. My shoulders is looking good. I'm sexy. And all the women be hollering at you. You're like, oh man, my trainer did a good job. That's what coaches are supposed to do.
All right, okay. To the business, bro, what's your thoughts on this, man? The Syracuse basketball coach ultimately had to resign from mental health abuse.
I was on my previous statement about Fig being Fig. He actually is, because that is only halfway right. The issue is not that the coach was driving them or hurting their feelings. It's just that 19 players, not even from the same time period, have said that he was doing really inappropriate things like getting a little bit too close for comfort and kissing them on the forehead and denying them water after they were running for hours on end. Some of that stuff is just downright abuse. And I'll tell you right now, as a person that has college-age daughters, if that son of a you-know-what did that to my kid, trust me, we'd not have to worry about an investigation. They'd have to worry about exactly what the hell happened because he'd be an unsolved mystery.
I cried foul. That is not what Frank said. He didn't say nothing about kissing on the forehead.
I'm sorry if you didn't read.
Jiggling their butt. Frank didn't say none of that.
Frank didn't say none of that. It's not my fault that you didn't research.
Hey, yo, the best part is Fig said tip-top shape right before he almost died. Fig said they're supposed to get you in tip.
Mike Shot, what's your thoughts, bro?
I wish this was around when the iconic coach Bobby Knight was around bullying college athletes when he should have got punched. I just always wish that Bobby Knight could have coached Latrell Sprewell. Like in real life. Like, I really wish that bully that these white dudes hold in such high standard would have actually had to like maybe have coached Charles Oakley or somebody like that back in the day. But you know what? It's a limit to what you can do. And I didn't know about the kissing thing. But these coaches, listen, man, this is what you do. You set up a game plan. You take me to practice. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Don't get in my face. Like, don't. The nonsense is over. Right. Okay, John Thompson was one of the great, and I'm sure John Thompson got in people's faces. But his players felt like he respected them. Right. And when you got a guy like Allen Iverson, who didn't like practice, but still to this day, whenever he talks about that coach, he cries. It's because the man met him on a man level and didn't disrespect him. Right. And we have gotten to this point where we think the Bill Parcells of the world are cool by disrespect. He ain't disrespect Lawrence Taylor. It's funny how all these coaches pick and choose who they want to disrespect. So, yeah, I have no problem with it. Is it going to go too much to the left? Yeah, probably will. But I'd rather save these college kids and be safe than wind up by having another Bobby Knight being reign supreme over their lives.
Let's be honest. First and foremost, when you have a man coaching a women's team, these issues are going to happen. There's going to be something that's going to happen sooner or later. Somewhere along the line, it's going to happen. Talent, what's your thoughts, bro? Talk to me. Tell me what you think.
Well, I'm from the old school of I think the coach has to get in your face. They have to be hard on you. That gets results. Pause. That gets results. I mean, we can go back through time and find where this is time and time again produce results. Is there an extreme? Absolutely. Bobby Knight is where you draw the line. That's where, but I understand why they hold him in high regard all those years, because if you really look at it, you go back to the old tapes, it looks like those guys that had the job on the plantations of yelling at the slaves and whooping them and keeping them in order. You know what I mean? You're talking about a guy that getting in your face is one thing. Bobby Knight threw chairs, broke chairs on people. You know what I mean? It broke stuff. So that's a different type of aggression. I think we're in a different time. I mean, let's face it, folks.
Yeah, we definitely.
A lot of the stuff 20 years ago we wouldn't put up with. We have to have a little more empathy for it. You know what I mean? It's just a different time, and every time that there's a different time, you have to move a little different. In entertainment, we call it reinventing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, now here's the thing. I want to keep this conversation moving on because we got so much stuff to cover. Not enough time, and we could talk about that for a long time, especially with the issues between women and men and these team sports. Next up, man, I want to talk about the NBA because NBA free agency jumped off. There was so much happening. I don't know how we would have fit it all in one day, so we're going to probably spread it out in 2 days. But there was 2 moves made last night, Fig, that are under the, going under the wire or under the, whatever you want to call it. Thank you. I don't think people are paying attention to it. My biggest move that I saw that nobody's really paying attention to is one huge move. That was PJ Tucker signing with PJ Tucker signing with the Miami Heat. It's got to be the biggest move. The second biggest move was JaVale McGee signed with the Phoenix Suns. Those 2 moves right there are seismic. I think they changed their teams dramatically. So, Fig, talk to me. Tell me what your biggest move was. Do you think it was the PJ Tucker move? Not all of them. Just talk about PJ Tucker or JaVale McGee? Which one of those moves was more seismic than the other to you? Talk to me.
Well, I like the PJ Tucker signing because PJ Tucker is another dog. I would say he's right there on the same level with Jimmy Butler, and his mentality and his makeup sort of fits the type of mentality that Jimmy Butler has, which I still assume is still the leader of the Miami Heat. But I've been singing the praises of JaVale McGee for a few years now, and simply because he's not going to do much on offense. Maybe a couple of points here and there. He may, on a great day, get you 10 points. But what JaVale McGee does on the defensive end, he makes everybody that's going to the hole change their shot. He blocks shots. He gets rebounds. Even the shots that he don't block, he's going to make you change up the way that you're going to go. And he's going to make you think about whether you want to go to the hole or not. So he would have been extremely instrumental in this last year's finals going up against Milwaukee and all of the points that they scored in the paint. I think had they had a JaVale McGee on their team, the outcome may have been a little different.
Right. And going on Fig's point to the business bully, I'm going to say this. I think the outcome would have been different if PJ Tucker was not on the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Milwaukee Bucks, the most unsung hero on that team that got him past Brooklyn, they got him past a couple of teams, was PJ Tucker. They lost him. What's your thoughts on this?
I wholeheartedly agree with that assessment, Frank. I'm also going to say this. PJ Tucker was smart. He said, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and I'm going to ride out for 2 years, $15 million. Let me go ahead and show y'all because you don't appreciate me. You know, he's dope. Let's not act like this man is not dope. Let's not act like this man is not one of the dopest forwards in the NBA. I don't care what you say. Here's the problem. When you have so many other people that everybody wants to talk about and all the sports pundits get together and all this, skip. What winds up happening is people who are actually doing the work, get completely overlooked. And he's got completely overlooked. Oh, but you're not going to overlook him in Miami. Oh, you're not. And he's going to give you this work. You're going to know where Miami spent that $15 million, and they're not going to have to give up any of their exceptions. I think that this is a brilliant move on the part of the Heat and a brilliant move on the part of PJ Tucker and his agent.
I gotta agree with that one. Mike, Sean, talk to me. Tell me where you are in this. Do you like the move of PJ Tucker going to Miami? PJ Tucker, big move to you. What you think?
I love the move. Obviously, Pat Riley knows what he's doing, putting that beast of a team together right now. I don't think it's that I do not think it's Milwaukee not appreciating PJ Tucker. I think they realize they have to bring this team back and they have to make some hard decisions. They kept Bobby Portis. They signed him, and they feel like, is he the defensive player PJ is? No, but he's also a better offensive player than PJ is. It's just the fact of the matter. And they had to make a tough decision. That JaVale McGee situation, I said this last year when the Lakers broke up Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. They had a very unique situation. JaVale McGee is one of them 7-footers that can play on your team and not clog the middle. I don't know how he does it, but on offense, he gets the hell out the way. And then he just shows up for a tip ball or offensive rebound. And he's there to actually protect the rim. And he has a unique skill set where he gets out the damn way. Not like Andre Drummond, who sits there and clogs the whole middle up. I think Milwaukee did what they had to do, and I think Miami benefited from it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Talent, talk to me. Do you think the PJ Tucker move was huge to you the way I look at it, or do you think no big deal? What's your thoughts?
Obviously, the PJ Tucker move is a big deal. It's way bigger than McGee. And if you look at all the other moves Miami happened to make too, as well, they are right back at the top of contention. You know what I mean? So that move was astronomical. McGee is, anything I like, whether it's sports or comedy, I like consistency. Mm-hmm. He's not that guy.
Okay. All right,
but he'll extend the play for you. He'll actually get you possessions 3 or 4 times. That's all you need.
Yeah, but he'll go missing a couple of games. Like in the 7-game series, you'll see him 2 games, and then the other 3 or 4 games, he's in the locker room or getting Gatorade.
All right, well, let's check this out. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers seem to think that they got to make some moves because they brought back Dwight Howard, and Drummond ended up just signing this morning. He signed it with the Philadelphia 76ers. So they basically swapped. You know what I mean? They brought back Dwight Howard. They obviously had brought back Trevor Ariza. They brought back Wayne Ellington. And you know that my question to you, Fig, is: do you like these moves? And what do you think was going to happen with Dennis Schroeder? Because Dennis Schroeder is still sitting on the sideline saying, I'm still here. What's going on? Even though we all know, you guys missed the conversation yesterday. We talked about them obviously signing Russell Westbrook too. So what's your thoughts, Fig?
I think the Lakers are if they don't win a championship, they will win the award for being the oldest team in the NBA. Everybody there is in 35 and over. This is the 35 and over league that the Lakers are going for right now. I think if you put 15 guys over 35 added up, I think it comes to well over 500. So they're about 500 years old collectively as a team. And I think that it's going to begin to look like that by mid or towards the end of the season, because as you know, 35 against 25 starts to look really bad.
And you know what, Vic, that's not even the worst part. The worst part, I'm trying to bring in Dave right here. The worst part is that they are already over the NBA salary cap, the luxury tax right now by about a good $10-15 million right now. So to Business Bully, bro, they got to bring in all these players now to fill out. They got to fill in another 8 more slots, and they got to get them at the player minimum. You know what I mean? They got to get them at the player minimum. So you can already see where this Laker roster's getting ready to set up at, which nobody's talking about. You know what I mean? Salary cap, they're already over the luxury tax. Unless they don't mind saying, you know what, let's play another $10-15 million of luxury cap. They're already at the player minimum. They got right now 6 players playing at the player minimum salary because they over the luxury cap. So talk to me. What you think?
This is like those memes you see on Instagram where it's like, build your dream team. You've got $5 to do it. And, you know, all the top greats on like the $3 line. And then you got, you know, a $2 category and then a bunch of $1. I'm not surprised by this. As a Sixers fan, I'm not, you're like, I mean, okay, Dwight Howard. All right. Well, we knew you treated this like a jump job, meaning you were just here to do, you know, enough to stay in the league and do what you got to do. Now you're going to go over there and you're going to start kicking ass. You're actually going to start working out. We're actually going to be, you know, thoroughly impressed. So like for me, I'm more concerned with the Lakers' money mismanagement. And I said this on the show before, and I will stick by it. The Lakers are busy worrying about a quick nut instead of a long stroke. And I said what I said.
No pun intended. To Mike Sean. No pun intended. To Mike
I don't
Sean.
want to follow that. I don't want to follow that.
You know,
I guess I'm like a long stroke.
I don't want to follow long strokes and nuts.
To Mike Sean, let me just ask you this, bro. What do you think was going to happen with the Lakers right now, what they're doing right now? Do you think they're building up themselves to be a world-class or an NBA, you know, a roster right now? Because my concern is like what Fig said, and what obviously what the Business Bully said, is not only are you looking at the roster, but it's hard to build a team when you don't really have the money to be able to at least fulfill the back end. Talk to me. What do you think?
They have, like, first of all, luxury tax doesn't even matter with the Lakers. That penalty doesn't even matter. Their Laker network, they got paid $1 billion in the early 2000s. So they're not worried about a luxury tax. Now, this whole thing of filling the roster, I think Wayne Ellington is a good player. I think they're going to fill it out. You may worry about them with injuries, but that Russell Westbrook is one guy who I know is going to play all the games during the regular season, give LeBron a break. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know what the Sixers are going to do with Andre Drummond. What the hell are you going to do with him and Joel Embiid? Andre Drummond literally was born to play in 1992. Like, I don't know what you're going to do with him. He's just he's a guy who's in the wrong era. I think the Lakers will be fine. I think what you have to worry about is health. And I think with Russell Westbrook, he can carry you during the regular season to get a lot of victories so that you can load manage Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then we'll see. Because they're going to add Carmelo, and then we'll see from there. Let's remember, 36 ain't what 36 used to be, Fig. Yeah, the guy everybody was bragging about was Chris Paul, who took his team to the finals. 36.
Hey, whoa. Chris Paul is the only dude that is old on that team. Everybody else is in their 20s.
And the year before that was LeBron.
Everybody's in their mid upper 30s.
We're not going to argue about this right now.
Another thing is, What?
Hold on, Vic. Hold on. Let Talent get his 2 cents. And hold on, Talent. I want you to jump in here, Talent. You tell me what you think before everybody starts getting the rebuttal. And I want to ask you, Talent, too. What do you think the Lakers going to do about Dennis Schroeder, too? What you think about that?
Well, first of all, I agree with Mike showing where the money is not is going to be not an option. You know, they don't care about that luxury tax. Secondly, I think that Schroeder's just sitting back at this point, feeling like the ass of the league.
Yep.
You know, he's sitting back. He's sitting back. And comedians know they can relate. All the comedians can relate. Is that gig you blew? That guy called with $5,000, and you said, "Nah, I need 6." And when you hung up, you said the promoter's gonna call back and give me that 6. And then boom, opened your Instagram and seen a flyer with another company. And now you like, I could have had one.
Especially if the last gig you did, you wasn't popping. Schroeder, we just watched you in the playoffs. This is not the time to be saying I need 100 million.
The promoter said, we only got 5. Well, you don't want me. I need 6. Let me check with my partner. I'll call you.
You know what's crazy?
Jump in.
Yo, you know what's crazy? They just gave Kyle Lowry $90 million for 3 years.
Yes.
And he's 36. That means when he's done, he's gonna be close to 40. Kyle Lowry.
And you give Chris Paul 4 years.
Whoa. And you mean Dennis Schroeder can't get 100? If Kyle Lowry got 90, Dennis Schroeder can't get 100. He's much younger. He's much faster. I think he's a better player. And I'm going to tell you this. The fact that he was on the Lakers playing with a ball-dominant LeBron James took away from his ability to be at his best. Because when LeBron James was injured, he played at a high level.
Okay, Fig, let me ask you this real quick, Fig, real quick. You know, as a comedian, we talk about getting paid and who could get what. You know, the guy with the TV credit makes a little more than the guy with no TV credits, right? One guy has a championship.
Yeah.
I thought we was attributing that one to Kawhi.
He got a championship. It was his team first.
You know what? We're going to argue about this. We can argue with this for all day long. We'll circle back to this. But another move that happened yesterday, man, and I want to talk about too, is I'm going to start with you, Fig, is that Lonzo Ball joined the Bulls. Everybody was expecting Lonzo Ball to join the Knicks, the Celtics, possibly the Bucks and everything else. But he ended up joining the Chicago Bulls and under the radar move that, might really affect that team in a positive way. So-called the pundits are saying that. Personally, I think it's a horrible move. I just don't like that move. But talk to me, Fig. Do you like Lonzo Ball joining the Chicago Bulls? Tell me what you think.
I'm trying to think, man. The thing that I like about Lonzo Ball is he's a point guard, a true point guard. He's pass first. He plays decent defense, gets rebounds. When he snatched a rebound, clearly because he's a big point guard, he could take it all away and dish it to the open player. I just don't know what Chicago has around him to fill it out. He's increased in every stat since he's been a rookie. His 3-point shooting is almost 40%, like in the high 30s. His free throws went from like 50s to the 70s, 80s%. So he's been in the gym. He's been working. His game is better. I just don't know what they're going to have to complement him in Chicago.
To the business bully, Lonzo Ball literally could be one of those players who be going round and round and around and chasing that check. And then 10 years go by, and next thing you know, you ain't won an NBA championship, bro. Do you like to move Lonzo Ball to the Bulls? Because he's following the money. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you've ever met his daddy.
No, I'm not.
LeVar Ball is going to follow the money. This is the product of the big baller brand. Of course, he's going to follow the money. And I'm not saying, Chicago's made a mistake. I think that having that level of excitement in Chicago and bringing people out to cheer or boo, it's going to be phenomenal in and of itself. It's worth $85 million. Absolutely. I think it is, because the organization is going to make more money to see that circus more than anything. I'm talking about LeVar Ball, though, as far as the circus and everything else goes. I think Lonzo Ball is getting the bread, and I'm not mad at him for it, because he's going to retire early, and he's going to ride off into the sunset with everything intact.
Yeah, no doubt. To Mike, Rich Paul got him 4 years, $85 million, when people didn't even think he was going to get 4 years, $80 million. They thought he wasn't worth it, but he's following the money. What's your thoughts on Lonzo joining the Bulls?
Chicago, let Lonzo Ball be a point guard. Like, people just don't know how his game was underrated last year. This dude shot 38% from the 3-point line last year. 38%.
Mm-hmm.
That's damn near elite.
Mm-hmm.
And was still dropping 6 or 7 assists and can play defense. He's just not flashy. He's just not as flashy as everybody wants him to be. If Chicago, I would have loved for New York to got Lonzo Ball to have that point guard run my team.
Yeah,
he's a consummate point guard. Just let him do his thing. Trust me, if the Lakers could have got him, they would have gotten him. If the Lakers had that money to pay him, Lonzo Ball is so damn underrated. It's just that he doesn't make the ESPN top 10. Right. He doesn't do whatever. He's not dunking on people. That is the dude. His mindset is so calming. He really is a point guard for real. I don't know if Chicago's going to fill up the roster perfectly, but I would love to have him on my team.
And talent, that's the reason why I didn't like him going to Chicago, because I think he just landed in nowhere land too. If he had gone on a team that's contending with his skill set, he could literally help whether it's the Knicks, the Bucks, the Celtics, he literally could help them because he's a great point guard. But to go into Chicago, he has nobody. What's your thoughts? You like the move for him?
No, I'm not a big fan. I like him in the Midwest. Stay the hell away from New York City. Listen, over here, we need exactly what Mike Sean said he's not is what New York needs. It's a flashy city. So him going to Chicago I think it's good for him because this can become his team.
Mm.
If he's as good as you guys believe him to be, he needs to be somewhere where he owns the team. It needs to become his team, and then you build around him. If he's as good as he's all cracked up to be, that's what you do with a great point guard. With a great point guard, you build around him so that it could complement his skill set. If he's the guy you think he is.
Okay, all right. Speaking of making moves, the New York Knicks made some moves, and seeing that I got some Knicks fans up on this plant,
we don't need flashy talent. Go ahead. Sorry. We don't need flashy.
Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose resigned, and Evan Fournier left the Celtics. He followed the money. He went to the Knicks too. He's a spot-up shooter. He can shoot the lights out and everything else. Fig, I'm gonna ask you as a New York Knicks fan, do you like the move that the Knicks made yesterday?
Yeah, man. We talking about all these other players, man. We talking about Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, this one, that one, and you gonna give me Fournier? Really? That's what we doing? I'm hoping that since the free agent market just started, that the Knicks are gonna make some kind of bigger splash than Fournier. We're gonna need a little more than Fournier. I'm happy that they got Derrick Rose to sign again. Bullock, you know what I mean, knockdown shooter. But we're gonna need it, like Talon said, we're gonna need a bigger splash than Fournier.
It's coming, brother. It's coming.
All right,
I'm waiting for it.
Do you like the move that the Knicks made? They brought Evan Fournier from the Celtics. He's known to be a shooter and everything else. They brought back Derrick Rose. He's a little bit over the hill and everything else to continue to be the point and everything else. The Knicks supposedly aren't done. Do you like the move that the Knicks are making right now? Because they're trying their best also to pull in Carmelo Anthony. I forgot to match it, but he's not even listening to them. He wants to go to the Lakers. What's your thoughts, man? What do you think?
I'm going to say this. I think it's important that we recognize the skills and the gifts of our elders and not just limit them to being Walmart greeters. So I think it's important that we respect the elders that are trying to make a move in the garden. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm here for it. On top of that, I feel like when it comes to the Knicks, you could bring You can bring the Justice League to the Garden. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. I've been holding this with it for a long time out of respect for people I love comedically. But get your ass ready. It's gonna be longer than R. Kelly has been waiting for his trial before y'all even start seeing anything that resembles a championship. I don't care who you bring. It ain't gonna happen.
Mike Sean, talk to me. Do you like the move Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier for the Knicks? What you think?
I always like Derrick Rose getting money. Number one. Eric Fournier, that's fine. Knicks fans, chill. We don't need any big splash this year. We need to just don't go crazy spending money right now. We got to wait until let this team develop for another year, and we'll make the playoffs this year, probably get knocked out in the first round, and make the splash next year when you don't have to trade for certain free agents and give stuff up. Free that salary cap and get ready for next year. To Talon's point, what New York doesn't need as point guards is a splash. Right. We've had Fancy, we've had Mark Jackson, we've had Rod Strickland, and we did nothing when we had Charlie Ward, basic point guard, and we had Chris Childs and Derek Harper. That's when we won. What we just need to do is wait. Everybody wait, pause. This ain't going to be the championship year. Next year's free agency season is when we got to throw some money in. And Stephon Marbury. I forgot Flash too. We wanted Stephon Marbury. We got that. We don't need that right now. We really don't.
All right, to Talent, you're a New York Knicks fan. Do you like the moves the New York Knicks made yesterday and that they continue to make this year? What you think?
I like it because it's the beginning. Unlike what Michael Sean just said, it's the beginning of the big splash. I'm sorry, Mike. It's coming this year because next year, Damian will not be available next year. Mm-hmm. So you got a Damian Lillard on the block. And like people said, the reason Melo ain't trying to hear right now because he's trying to make sure that's solidified. Mm-hmm. But Damian comes, Melo comes back home. Who the hell don't want that fucking splash?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But dog, we have to give up the whole team to get
No,
yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got to match his salary. Who you not gonna give up? Who you think you gonna get? Dame? This is New York fans. I love being from New York. Who do you think we gonna trade for Damian? Who do you think we gonna give up?
Let me explain something to you, bro. We're giving up pieces, but we got a lot of
who?
Pieces
Just tell me who.
Well, your tall boy Robinson's going quickly.
Oh no!
He said Robinson and quickly. Talent, I will light you on fire and put you out and light you back on fire. Are you kidding me?
Bruh. Trust what I tell you. I don't want to see Robinson go. Listen, I don't want to see Robinson go quickly. Here or there.
You think Portland's going to take that?
But if I can get Damian Lillard and build around that now.
Wait. No, forget that. You think Portland is going to take what you just said for him?
It's going to be 4 players, but we got them to give.
Who?
You still got Frank.
Sorry, Frank.
Here's the thing.
You got Quickly, you got Robinson, and you give them one more. Listen, it's Damian Lillard. Are you crazy?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that.
These shows because you guys will argue all day long. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna argue. I'm just gonna say is that when a player, a star player says he wants out, and he says where he wants to go, no matter what the deal is, you end up having to do it. A la James Harden, a la Anthony Davis. Like when a star player says he wants out, no matter what the other team has to give. You got to give it up in order to be able to get him. That's what did the Nets? Let me ask you this: what did the Nets have to give for James Harden?
Hold on. I know how to talk to Mike. Mike don't understand us talking this way. You got to talk like this to Mike. Mike, remember that chick you had that was out of your league?
All right, here we go.
You could have waited till you had a good job to get this chick, but nope, you had to have her now.
All right, let me move on, man, because another conversation I want to talk about.
My whole life.
That Big and Talent didn't join this conversation yesterday. Mike and the Business Blue, we talked about this. We were speculating that if Chris Paul probably wouldn't sign. Chris Paul ended up signing, with the Phoenix Suns. He extended out and everything else for his brand. And we also know now that they got JaVale McGee and things like that happening. So I'm going to ask you, Fig, and I'm going to start around this thing. Now that Utah got Mike Conley, they signed everything else, people are starting to, basically come back on the West and everything else. Do you think the Phoenix Suns, by signing Chris Paul, was the right thing to do, A, and B, think they're going to make it back to the finals this year? Because I'm going to say right now, I don't think they're going to make it back to the finals the way the West is shaping up. That's my thought. What you think, Fig?
No, make it back to the finals. I'm not really sure about that. That's a tough one. That's a tall order. And I think it was the right move to re-sign Chris Paul, because here's the thing: Chris Paul had upwards of $40 million on his deal for this year, which wouldn't have gave Phoenix enough money to do any other moves that they wanted to do for this year to upgrade the team. And they sort of just stretched it out. So they went from over 40 to down to 30 when they gave him the $120 million a year. They're going to have Chris Paul into his 40s, which is not the greatest deal in the world. But after the impact that he has on your team and getting them to the finals, can you really let him go? Can you really get rid of him at that point? I think that's a bad PR move. So they had to do something to hold on to him.
Yeah, if you wanted to hold on to him, I understand. But to the business bully, do you think that was the right business decision for the Phoenix Suns to bring back Chris Paul for that amount of money? Because to me, I just don't like the way I heard the way it was structured. I'm not liking it right now. What's your thoughts?
Simply put, no, I don't think it was the right move. I think it was a bad financial decision. I think that they gave into a very low-level form of terrorism. And like you just said, when you allow people to interrupt your way of life and the way that you choose to move, then the terrorists have already won. I feel like he held them by what Texans would refer to as the short and curlies, and he pulled hard. And they said, yo!
We don't negotiate with terrorists
at all.
Listen, I like his analogy because that's right on spot on. Mike, do you think that Chris Paul signing for the Phoenix Suns was a great move for them? And what's your thoughts? Do you think they're going to make it to the final?
It's just funny how the narrative changes. When Phoenix was down 2-1, if Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt, they probably don't make it out the first round. I'm not mad at Chris Paul for getting the money. But, if you got to be honest with why you made it to the finals, and I'm not disregarding your achievement. Your worry is keeping that core young group together. I know you love Chris Paul, but you signed him till he's 40. Chris Paul ain't 6'5". Chris Paul is 6'1", 165 pounds or something like that. The man had injuries during the playoffs. He was holding it together during the playoffs. Like he's a Hall of Fame point guard. I just don't see you getting intoxicated with what happened last year, when if you're real with yourself, without injuries, you probably don't make the finals and you probably don't make it out the first round. But God bless them. I ain't mad. Go get your money, homie.
Listen, I agree with some of the stuff you said. Like, they don't probably make it out of the first round without Chris Paul, but Chris Paul disappeared from second round on. Let's be honest. Devin Booker got those boys on fumes. To me, he got them on. Chris Paul had 2-3 games, but Devin Booker was the man for Phoenix. But regardless, I don't think they should have signed him for that steep amount of money. What do you think, Tim?
I think your prescription is off in those glasses.
Okay.
Are you crazy?
No, I ain't say it all. Yeah, you're right.
Chris Paul got busy. The only time we didn't see Chris Paul get busy through the entire playoffs was those games that he had to sit down with the injury. When he was in there, he was balling. Now, was there nights that some nights were more potent than the others? That's any NBA player. But that dude was consistently doing his thing throughout all the playoffs. The only time you could take him out of the game is when you literally had to take him out of the game.
See, I could argue with you about that, but because the time is not good, I don't want to argue. I want to get.
No, I don't want to argue the point. Let me just say this: I don't think that what none of us are recognizing is what is the impact to a team that financially that makes it to the finals and all of the money that they acquire from going to different levels, the Western Conference Finals and then ultimately the NBA Finals. How much money did that team make because Chris Paul was actually there?
All right, that's a whole nother conversation, and it's a great point. But let me bring up this, man. I want to at least squeeze in some NFL today, and I'm gonna start with you, Fig, because Devontae Smith got injured. He was, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia was really looking forward to this guy. He's slim. He's a little underweight. People are concerned, everything else. But as a wide receiver, he was one of the most exciting players coming out of college. I really wanted to see this boy ball out for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going to ask you, Fig. I'm going to start with you. Even though I know you're not an Eagles fan, should the Philadelphia Eagles be concerned with this injury? Because it could be one of those nagging injuries that, affect them for the whole season. What you think? The Eagles concerned or no concern?
I'm not sure. What is the injury, Frank?
Foot injury.
Look.
Leg injury. I'm sorry. Leg injury.
Leg injury. Yeah, leg.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can look at this two ways. On the one hand, he's a receiver and he has a leg injury. But on the other hand, he's not big and heavy. So, when the more weight you have to carry on an injury, the more damage that you could possibly do to yourself. Plus, he's a young guy. And as we all know, when you're younger, you heal quicker. I wouldn't concern myself. The kid has been playing football since forever. I know this is the NFL. It's a high level. And he's got a leg injury. But I think he'll bounce back this year and do very well.
All right, to the business bully, do you agree with Fig? Because to me, again, leg injuries, foot injuries to affect wide receivers, especially when they're underweight a little bit, there's got to be some kind of concern. But you're an Eagles fan. I know as an Eagles fan, you ain't seeing this as no big deal. I'm pretty sure. What's your thoughts?
You're going to be shocked. Again, I agree with Fig. I swear this is opposite day. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about is the fact that I know it's not a slow sports news day here, Frank. Maybe it's because I'm in Philly. I know that this is a knee sprain, and I'm not saying knee sprains aren't serious, but he's week to week. I think that this young, frail, olive oil built young man is going to get out there sooner or later, and he's going to catch a couple of balls. Great. I'm not worried. I can't even believe are we covering knee sprains now? I remember being a kid, man, and watching the Eagles go out there with broken arms and whatnot, hip bones sticking out of the side of the uniform and still winning games. I don't understand why, number one, we're covering this nonsensical BS. It's a knee sprain that none of the doctors are concerned about. Number two, why are we so soft now? We are softer than my mama's mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving morning. I don't understand why it's he's got a knee sprain. Whatever will we do?
My son, do you agree with him?
There.
Hell no.
Do you agree with him? Because to me, honestly, Devontae Smith is underweight and everything else, and he's thin. And honestly, bro, you're right. We are softer now in what's going on in the NFL, everything else. But to me, if this dude goes down, it changes the trajectory because Hurts is their quarterback. You know what I mean? He's going to need some speed on the outside. If we don't have that, this dude's going in and out. I think the Eagles are going to suck this year.
The Eagles deserve whatever they get. They do the same mistake over. They had Deshaun Jackson who couldn't stay healthy. I don't deal with fragile receivers. Odell Beckham. No, I don't deal with you either. I don't deal with Todd Pinkston. I deal with Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks. I deal with Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald. You can't have your number one receiver be a guy that I would fight. If I would fight him and lose, you lost. I was in the locker room. I was in the Eagle locker room, and I saw Todd Pinkston, and I said, I would fight him. If he tried to say something to my girl, I'd fight him. Once my little ass says, I'm down. I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm saying I'm about that life. That dude, you got an absolute problem. This dude Smith, literally, if you look at him, looks like he's 17 years old.
Yeah,
dog.
He's real small.
And you want him to be your number one? You go ahead with y'all. Learn Deshaun Jackson. I wouldn't fight Deshaun because Deshaun got guns in real life. So not Deshaun Jackson, not him. Everybody else, yeah.
Tell, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles fans should be worried about this Devontae Smith injury and everything else? Because he's supposed to be the number one wide receiver. He was their top pick in the draft. He's the burner Justin Hurts supposed to need. What you think?
Well, I think that you always worry about an injury, no matter what position or whatever. I mean, injuries in sports, you always worry about them. But as far as being underweight, crackheads catch balls.
For $3.
Nothing gets by a crackhead. You put anything in the head, and whoop, one hand, one finger, whoop.
Okay, so now for the record, are you calling Devontae Smith a crackhead? I just want to know.
I'm just saying, I'm comparing underweight.
Because Odell Beckham got some hands on him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yo,
All I'm
listen,
gonna say, I seen a crackhead down the block yesterday, and I said, "Damn, you skinny," and he said, "COVID."
All right, Fig, I'm gonna ask you this next question, man. I'm gonna start with you, man, because Justin Fields is making some noise out of Chicago camp too, man. Everybody's talking about how good Justin Fields is doing. Should Chicago be starting this brother? Because they're not trying to start him. But mind you, everybody, every sports reporter, everybody coming out of Chicago is like, Justin Fields is tearing it up in camp right now. Should Chicago be starting this kid or not? What do you think?
You know, the luxury is not to have to be able to start a rookie in his first season a rookie. Yeah, the luxury is not to have to start a rookie because I don't care what you do in camp. When that other team is on the field, they're not going to treat you like your teammates in camp. They're going to try and tear your head off. So it might be good for him to start maybe mid-season or maybe after 4 games, be able to see, and get a feel of what an actual NFL game day looks like and what the speed of the game actually is before you throw them into the fire.
Okay, to the business bully, do you think that the pressure from Chicago media and everything else is going to enforce the Chicago Bears management to start Justin Fields? You think that's what's going to happen?
I think 5 days of training camp does not a championship quarterback make. I think folks need to calm the hell down, but we all know how Chicago fans are. We all know how the Chicago media is. Anytime they can write about anything having to do with the Bears, even if it's Paddington Bear, the Berenstain Bears, the Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and everywhere, they will write about it and sensationalize it however they can. I think the dude is talented, but everybody forgot he got his ass whipped against Clemson. Right. So let's not act like the dude does not have room to improve. Let's calm down and let's see what he actually does during the game. To quote the immortal Allen Iverson, we talking about practice.
Myself, agree or disagree?
You know everything said Build-A-Bear.
Yo, the Chicago Bears haven't had a quarterback since Jim McMahon. Do you know how long ago that was? If you don't put this mother in and have him start, like y'all haven't had a quarterback since the 80s.
Fact.
Put his ass in the game and say, listen, we going for you. What's the worst that can happen? We go another 4 years without a quarterback. Put him in there, let him run the offense and go get it. Come on, Chicago, stop.
Yeah. Talent. It looks like people are saying they're comparing him to Patrick Mahomes already in camp and everything else. That's the word is out of Chicago. What do you think they should do, bro?
Like, first of all, to Michael Sean, fact. But that's another. He said the realest thing they ever wrote. 2 things. What Michael Sean said. You haven't had a quarterback in so long, anybody bona fide and beneficial to the team. And the second thing is, this is what camp is for. I thought you had camp so people go show their ass and get a spot.
Yeah.
So if I'm kicking everybody ass in camp, give me my spot.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be for the best person, and that's play.
They can't do that. That's going against everything you stand for. Camp was made for this. Like the guy that's trying to land the Gatorade job, the Gatorade dude, he faster than all other Gatorade dudes. He kicking the Gatorade dudes, and you're gonna tell him we're gonna go with this other dude with the Gatorade during the game.
I'd be mad as hell. I'd be like, I kept this whole team hydrated. The whole team was hydrated the entire time.
They had a thirst.
Yo, that's the show, man. I appreciate everybody watching the show. That's the show. Tell everybody out there how your 30th was real fast.
Hey, man, Frank, I'm so mad at you guys. Everybody on here that didn't make it, man, you missed a stone cold blast of a weekend. I want to applaud the MVP of the weekend because you know how you have MVP every series. Fig, comedian Fig.
I heard.
MVP of the weekend. He went 3 for 3, Frank. He did all 3 comedy shows. He blazed and ripped all 3 comedy shows. And Michael Sean, I got to see the old Fig. Remember the old Fig? He wasn't in the box. I think his first set, he might have did like a set. And then the next shows, the writer Fig came out, the creator. Go
ahead, Fig. I heard. Talent is the second person. Rodney Perry just said the same thing, that you blazed that thing out. Go ahead, homie.
Wow, man.
Shout out to Rodney Perry, too, man. We all had a dope time, man. Over 15, 16 comedians came out. just to show love and hit that stage through the weekend, bro. And it was, I wish I could have another 30th next week, bro.
Yo,
Right.
I heard that it went so well. The marketing genius of talent, he said next year he'll be rocking the 31st year of comedy. Happy 31st.
It's talent. These
everybody out there, they can follow you.
celebration of his black ass.
Hey, follow me on my Instagram, Talent the Comedian, man. Come see me on Twitter at It's Just Comedy, Facebook, King Talent House.
Big, talk to me.
Yo, it's your boy Comedian Fig at Comedian Fig, all social media platforms. The 30th anniversary was bananas all 3 days. I'm still recuperating. But you know, Monday through Friday, baby, is the box seats. The best damn sports show on TV. Ask your mama.
To the business bully, talk to me, bro.
Yeah, man, I think we should do it again. Next time I will absolutely be there. I had a kiddie thing to go to with my 6-year-old. I think when we celebrate Talent's dog graduating at the top of his class for obedience school, we do it all over, man. I'm going to hit that stage hard. I'm bringing out my Rodney Perry fedora, the whole nine. I'm going in. Let's make it happen. Book it right now. Saskatchewan, we're coming your way. Follow me.
There it is. Mike, talk to me, bro.
Just hit me at Mike Sean Comedy, all social media platforms. Don't forget this Sunday night, it goes down to Arlington Improv. We're going to rock out over there. Tickets still available. And once again, in all seriousness, congratulations, Talent.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
I hope you filmed something, bro, so I can see it. I hope you filmed something, bro.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. It was bittersweet because I had to leave that weekend and go and do Bismarck's funeral. I had to host the whole funeral. You know what I mean? So I'm leaving this high. And then you go over there, you're crying, and then you're making people laugh during the funeral. Praise God, man. And this strangest thing, Biz said to me about 10 years ago at some show he was at, he was like, man, you funny, right? I'm like, yo, everybody was funny. He's like, nah, you funny. Like, you can make people laugh at a funeral. And it was his thing.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Biz Markie, baby.
Well, thank you for giving us the update on that. Y'all know what this show is. It's called Box Seats. It's on Monday through Friday on social media from 1 to 2. It gets replayed from 3 to 4 on the Humor Mill channel. Make sure y'all download the app, tell a friend, and all that. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks y'all for watching. Peace.
You got it.